that the shutdown of activities at the gadget market, Banex Plaza in Abuja, by them is to investigate what led to the beating of the men in uniform last Saturday. Now, a fight had ensued between them, some traders, about 4 police army officers, and the army almost immediately returned on the reprisal attack. The video is just at the next slide there, just to bring you up to speed of what happened. And then before the eventual shutdown, well, the cause of the fight as available is that a customer came with men in uniform to confront, intimidate, of course, a phone vendor over a malfunctioning phone he sold to him, who is a friend of the soldiers. But then the army says what happened hasn't been ascertained as investigation is ongoing. It's day 4 of the shutdown today, just to bring you up to speed of what happened right there. But then let's go to yesterday on X and see what army is saying about this development. Yes, it says it is important to note that the soldiers attacked were unarmed, did not engage in any form of aggression, and posed no threat to anyone. Therefore, the cruel treatment meted out to them was entirely unwarranted and unjustifiable. In response to this unfortunate incident, a meeting was convened with the management of Banex Plaza to identify and apprehend the perpetrators of this heinous act by temporarily shutting down activities in the plaza to ensure that the hoodlums who have been using the Banex neighborhood as a sanctuary to pose a security threat to the Federal Capital Territory were apprehended. And it says this is in furtherance of the need for extensive investigation to be conducted at the scene to determine both the immediate and underlying causes of this mayhem. This investigation ultimately aims at ensuring the security of the Federal Capital Territory and to prevent such unwarranted attacks on our own personnel and other security operatives. And then they continue to say that the Nigerian Army will equally ensure that it diligently investigates the circumstances surrounding the presence of the personnel at the plaza and attack that ensued. Nonetheless, such acts of violence against personnel are not only condemnable, but could degenerate to a breakdown of law and order, orchestrating threats to national security. Accordingly, the Nigerian Army enjoins members of the public to exercise caution and restraint in dealing with military personnel and other security operatives, especially when they are in uniform. So that's the Nigerian Army yesterday on X. So Onoshiorena says in response to them, it is unheard of, even under military rule, that civilian spaces would be shut down in a business that employs thousands over disagreement between soldiers and civilians. The Nigerian Army should stop military men who are not active duties from putting on uniforms. So many of these military men have been caught in heinous crimes. And then more thought from another user, Global Citizen. He says, are you saying you cannot investigate without closing down people's business or using mass action attacks on unarmed innocent civilians? This is the same ungodly approach you use in Okoma, but cannot use this approach to hunt down Boko Haram people. Are army people more important than civilians in this country? But then, in support of their position is Peter, who says the people responsible should face the law. Our soldiers on uniform should never go through all that humiliation. Well done, Nigerian Army. So I think basically the concern for netizens is why were they there, which the army has said they will find out. Were they as the DSS that, you know, a friend used to go and collect clothes from tailor in Kakaaki markets here just sometimes late last year, and there are major concerns what our security operatives and men are turning into. But then we'll move away from that to say that it was World Cultural Day on Tuesday, and do we say expectedly, traditional worshippers called out the federal government of neglecting them and pumping money into other religions in Nigeria. This is in reaction to the news that hasn't settled with many of President Bola Tinubu subsidizing the 2024 Hajj with 90 billion naira. Well, in the words of the Akpeno of Lagos, Isiaka Ogundari, at the World Culture Day commemoration in Lagos State, he gave a sense of what they would be doing with the money and why they need the federal government to also come through for them and not just the religion that they have been putting money into. If we could just see that quickly before some thought. It says, we, the traditional worshippers, are not happy. The government has sidelined us for too long. We are not taken seriously at all, and we are not happy with this. The government will always support the Muslims, paying huge amount for their Hajj exercises. The same goes for Christians who go to Jerusalem. And then they continued that the Agemo deity is supposed to be celebrated during Agemo festivals. It is the deity responsible for protecting children. We don't have the needed resources to celebrate the festivals as we should. And it says also the other deity is responsible for warding off evil from the land, is not well celebrated. Many more of our deities and festivals need to be celebrated and promoted. When resources are earmarked for Hajj and Mecca pilgrimages, some funds should also be given to us. And that's traditional worshippers right there making a case for themselves. And for people who were asking, are you traveling? Are you leaving Nigeria? What do you want to do with the money if you subsidize? They've given you a list primarily of what they would do with the money when it comes. How did this meet netizens' reactions at this point? Let's see. Then Nigeria Must Survive says, I support this with 1000%. Nigeria is a secular state or country. Every belief should be treated equally. Please demand for your constitution right. Get a lawyer to back you guys up. Enough is enough. After all, your religion was first known in the country before Christianity and Islam came. And then Olawale Oyekon says, where do you want to go for pilgrimage in the first place? Maybe if the government knows, they will sponsor. In the interim, do not complain. But they gave you a list right there. And Babatunde says, they are right though. Why government go they waste money on things that are not adding any value to the country? And maybe that was the concern for people who were saying that, oh, fuel subsidy would benefit everyone, but Hajj was for a selected class of people. But Justice says nothing for atheists too. At least they should have trips to the museums and libraries. Inclusion right there, social justice, if you ask me. And then to politics. The All Progressives Congress, APC, seems to be having some sleepless nights about the impact the possible coalition of some of the opposition political parties would have if they get successful with merging. Well, the ruling party on Tuesday reacted to this plan, and they're accusing Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi of being united by mutual desperation. On their X handle yesterday, they said that a press statement that news of Peter Obi's return to the PDP would be hardly surprising. His reputation as a political wayfarer is only dwarfed by Atiku's track record as a veteran political wanderer. News of Atiku joining the Labour Party will shock no one, as he will be living up to his well-established reputation as the country's most itinerant politician. For now, Utomi's mega party remains a figment with no offering of tangible accommodation for both men. Atiku and Obi are united by their mutual desperation to be president of Nigeria and ignoble disdain for President Bola Tinubu's focused and extraordinary commitment to the transformation of our country. And then they went ahead to say, oh, Mr. Tinubu is the most doggest there is in Nigeria. He has been faithful, loyal to the people. We never get Tinubu before 100%. And that's the score right there. And it says Nigerians will have to continue to support the president. But Ben Samuel says, Nigerians, please join me in asking how many parties came together out of desperation for power to form the APC. It seems these people have very short memories. Also, is this user, Aye Mo Juba, who says, I am sure Peter Obi and Atiku understand the intense pressure APC must be under to publicly address their potential coalition. The path to a new Nigeria and the movement to unseat APC nationwide have never been clearer. And also praying for the president is A, with the profile of Mr. Tinubu right there, who says, and I promise you that none of them will back down for one. So, in the end, Atiku and Peter Obi will compete for the party ticket, and Asiwaju at official Bola Ahmed Tinubu will emerge as the winner that he is in 2027, inshallah. Remember that one of the spokesperson, is it Bayo Nanuga, was telling Peter Obi just this week that until after 2027, he should not even think of being the president. And that goes to say, where is the place of vote? Are we going to vote you? You confident? Or is there election already waiting for 2027 just for declaration of result and not, maybe winner and not result? But then we leave it at that to say that I'll catch you again tomorrow. If you may reach out to us, our WhatsApp number is just right here, 081154366670, and my handle is Rena OBO. We could talk more on social media.